When you master design psychology, you're gonna stand out of other thousands of designers out there. I'm gonna make it very easy for you to understand with live design examples. In design psychology, we're gonna look at 5 main ones: color psychology, shapes, text, visuals. Finally, I'll explain Gestalt theory to learn how people pursue, process, and understand the visuals. We'll go through in detail on each category and with live design examples so that we have a clear-cut understanding on this topic. Stick around till the end, it's gonna be a very useful and informative video. If you're a graphic designer who just started your career and struggling to get creative and success in this industry, this video is definitely for you. Alright then, let's get started. Here's an example to understand the basic color psychology. Imagine this is a movie that hasn't released and we haven't seen it. We just got this poster as promoting the film. The first impression, what would we have? It looks like a fun summer movie that might be about traveling, and this character is taking a break from his work and going on an unplanned road trip. Alright, now this is the original color that the movie team has used. For people who already know, this is a psycho killer movie, and this colors makes us feel like that emotionally, because the black makes us feel it's night and scarier, and red for blood and something related to crime. And there is always a strong reason why big brands use certain colors to connect emotionally to humans. I showed this to understand the basics of how we look at colors as an emotion than just using it to make our designs look pretty. Here's another example. This is Superman. I know, your brain immediately rejects it. Alright then, now look at this image. Without any doubt, or whoever plays the character, our brain accepts this is Superman. It happens because our brain has stored these colors, and each color has an emotional connect to it. Like Superman is blue, red, and yellow. Blue represents trust and calmness, makes Superman feel heroic. Red evokes energy, power, courage, action. Also, red draws attention. Yellow gives hope and brightness, makes us believe that Superman is a symbol of hope. You might get a doubt now. The red we have seen in American Psycho movie poster, I just referred as danger, blood, and scarier. I know, but we have to understand one thing is that the red color alone conveys multiple emotions like energy, passion, aggression, also excitement, and much more. We can see that different types of brands use red color as their main primary branding color. It's just that how we are showcasing matters. You can show the red color in your designs as a negative emotion, like in horror movie poster. Also use red color to show energized to your products and ads. It works either ways. At this point, you might get a question, how will I understand all these if I'm a beginner or an intermediate designer? Trust me, I have been there. When I was a beginner, a few industry professionals' tips and classes helped me a lot. I want to thank SKILLSHARE for being so kind and sponsoring this video. My designs were honestly lacking in compositions and layouts. It was really hard to understand why my designs are not looking professional. I want to suggest this class which completely changed my perspective on seeing designs. The best part, I would say, instead of me searching for multiple videos on YouTube or online, I just found everything in one place. I always feel I could have taken this class at my start of the career, which would have saved a lot of time to crack it. The main advantage is not only taking classes on SKILLSHARE by professionals. After completing the class, you can submit your project work to get reviewed. It helps in figuring out good and bad layouts and mainly develop our skills in design. Not only that, we can also have a discussion with other designers to improve our perspective and develop a bundle of knowledge from people who are actually interested in your niche. Not only graphic design, SKILLSHARE has classes like illustrations, logo designs, branding, and much more. Honestly, all these classes help me to shape my design career. Whatever design knowledge I have and share it with you are the classes that I've taken at past from SKILLSHARE. It gave me confidence for expanding my creative view towards the design. You can find the link in the description and also in the first comment. Or you could scan the QR code shown in the screen to get direct link. Mainly first 500 people to click the link or to scan the QR code will receive a 1-month free trial of SKILLSHARE. A perfect platform to learn and grow as a designer. Now let's continue understanding shape psychology in graphic design. When it comes to shape, each shape has its own meaning. It influences the human mind and makes us react differently. There are triangles, squares, horizontal and vertical lines, and organic shapes. Triangles suggest movement, direction, and steadiness depending upon which way they have pointed. And here's the main question, how are we gonna use it in our designs? Take a look at this design. Triangles are used as shapes and masking the images. As soon as we look at it, it gives a sporty, energized, and movement feel. The same design would have given a different feel if they would have used squares. It would have been flat and calm design. It is also used in top sports brands to give that movement and sporty feel to humans. They have also used it in their logos. Not only sport, you can see it is also used in architecture layouts. It gives that power and ambition to the designs. When it comes to squares and rectangles, it is used to show balance, well organized and professionalism. Here's a design example. This is a design about a music event. You can see that lots of emotion going on in these images, but we just feel calm and clearly go through each image and whole design. But when we look at the overall design, it's very calm and we want to really understand what's happening here. We feel like that because the rectangles are used to well organize the layout. You can also see it used in Windows logo design. To make it easy, if you're designing a minimal or a subtle layouts, so you can give a clean stability and balance, using rectangles and squares would be great choice. Now circles and ovals. We all know that circles are always connected, which conveys unity and completeness, and the soft edges evoke comfort. Here's a design example. This design is about an open house. You can see that a huge circle is used as a main element. This immediately gives unity, secure and safety. Like whoever sees it immediately get a trust on visiting it. I think that would have been the main purpose of the designer. Not only layouts, you can find more circles used in logos. Like these popular logos always use circles just to convey the comfort and secure feeling to the people. When it comes to horizontal and vertical lines, horizontal line mainly convey calmness and moving through time, wherein vertical lines are strength, energetic and movement. By using the lines, this design completely turns into a calmness, and also the lines makes us feel like reading the text added, which also showcases stability through the design. It would have been completely different if circles were added instead of lines. Also, it's the same reason to use it in IBM logo. Text psychology is choosing the right font with purpose. There are variety of styles like serif, sans serif, script, display and monospace. Serif fonts are the one with the peak at corners and mostly used for books, newspaper designs, magazines and any design which you want to give a luxury look. Sans serif font, you can see it used in websites, apps and also modern style designs. Script fonts are more used in brands like beauty products, like feminine brands, and display fonts are used for poster designs where you want to showcase a huge text like banners, ads and etc. Finally, monospace, which are used in coding, and also retro style designs like these ones. Now let's see live design example. Here's a design. The sans serif font which is used looks fine and it has a clear visual to convey the message, but making a small change by turning this font into a serif font would give it more luxury look and feel, which adds up a more interest towards the design from feminine side. Another example where these kids add, we can see that serif fonts have used, which makes it zero connect to kids. We can change the font to a bit more sans serif, which is more fun bubble font that could be perfectly acceptable. Alright, now let's move to visuals. Visuals are all the images or whichever element you use it in your design. So how does the psychology works for this? Here's a design which looks good, no flaws, and it has a very good illustration. When we convert this on understanding the design psychology, by adding a real kid image will make it more connect emotionally. It's simple as that. Same thing works for food related design. People won't get that craving unless they see actual delicious food. We should sometimes, for some designs, target emotional connect. Also, all this design psychology is to just understand how it works. It doesn't mean you have to follow for all the designs. Use it whenever it's needed. Finally, we're gonna look at Gestalt theory. Guys, honestly, when you understand Gestalt theory and start applying it in your designs, it'll be completely a game changer for your designs. A quick brief on what is Gestalt's theory in design. German psychologists developed this theory in early 20th century. It uses principles like proximity, closure, common fate, continuity, and figure or ground. This explains how humans pursue visual elements. By using all these principles, you can create mind-blowing visual designs. This would show you a very creative designer in this industry. Now let's go through each principle with live design example. Let's start with closure. What shape visual do you get by seeing this? Of course, star. But if you look closely, there is a lot of gaps around it. But even though our brain completes the structure, not only stars, even with the circles. So how does this work in actual designs? Here you can see a lot of gap between these elements, but our brain forms this bottle. That's how as a designer, you can play with human mind to bring creativity in your designs. Another example, you can see here Here the designer has used just 2 circles to form this fish. This is how smart you can design by using this principle, proximity. Here are few circles placed randomly. Now I have moved it, keeping few circles closer. Now your mind realizes that these are grouped ones and they are related to each other. Here's a design example. This design has lots of things going on. So when we apply proximity to it by grouping things together which are related to each other, now you can see how better the design turns into. This way you can apply proximity to your designs. Let's look at figure and ground. Here's a shape. Here you can see 2 visuals, 2 faces and a glass shaped object in the middle. To make it easy, figure is a positive shape in the center. Ground is a negative space at the background. Here's a design example. You can see the designer has used positive shape, the shark, to create the leg which is the negative space. Here's another similar example. When you start imagining these visuals in your mind and start applying to your artboard by using these principles, you can also achieve great designs which keeps audience thinking. Now let's look at continuity. This is like guiding a human eyes to a certain element in your design. Here's a few circles which forms straight line. Here another which is curvy line. We have to keep a start and an end point to apply this principle. So we can guide one point to another end point. Let it be any shape. Here's a real design example. As soon as we see this, the design has a big curved path guiding us to the cat. Another example, you can see here that the leg is guiding us to look at this element. So it's all about using this principle to guide audience eyes in your artwork. Alright, this is an interesting principle. Here you can see I placed triangles which is pointing in one direction. But what if I flip one to opposite side? Now when we look at it overall, our eyes will focus on this one different faced shape. We are using all the other shapes to guide to this one. Let's see a real design example. Here you can understand visually how this designer has used this principle in a brilliant way. Why they do it is to bring the focus to this one particular element, and you also notice the same color used in the text as well. Here's another example. You might have already understood this concept. To make it easy, you can use this principle to control the human eyes. Make them look where you want them to look. Pretty amazing, right? Alright then, I think we have come to the end. I hope you found some insights on design psychology. Don't forget to check out the Skillshare link in the description. Start learning now and develop your skills in graphic design. I'll see you in the next one.